Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is actually a pilot, and she and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range has to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air the Real Estate Voice show every weekend. If you can't listen to the entire show, it's available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or go ahead and search Barb Schlinker, Schlinker. You'll find it on all of the popular podcast platforms like Spotify, iHeart Radio, etc. Barb, every week the Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market up and down the Front Range. One of the largest assets that people have is their home, and that's why you talk so much about it, making sure that people get the very most out of it. What will we be talking about today?
Well, thank you, Richard. I'm really excited about today's show. We're going to talk about the housing market, and we'll do a little update on what's happening right now in the housing market. And then the next segment, we're going to cover the top 15 tips to get your home sold and for top dollar. And this is fun. I had a lot of fun researching this next topic, the top 10 trends that date a home and what you can do about it. And then the last segment is a topic that I work with day in, day out with home sellers, which is how to make them price their home correctly, because it really does make a difference between you getting top dollar for your home or it sitting on the market for a long time. And as always, I love featuring our hot new listings. Richard?
Barb, now the Fed just raised interest rates 0.25%. I'm not sure if that has an instant or a direct impact on mortgage interest rates. So how do you think there is going to be a rise in the market? How will it affect housing? And what's the very latest as far as you're concerned?
Well, Richard, we've seen a bit of a stabilization in the past couple of months, and that a lot of that has to do with supply and demand. And the truth is that people buy on house payments. So having the rates go up substantially definitely does affect, especially the first-time home buyer. But a lot of people don't know that interest rates actually fluctuate every day of the week, hourly. So you could lock in a rate right now, and a couple days later, it's a lower rate. So it's one of those things that changes a lot, and you want to rely on a good mortgage broker to help you. But there's some glimmer of hope out there in the market right now. A lot of bloggers are saying they expect to see an early spring surge in the real estate market, which will be really good. But it definitely does. These higher interest rates definitely do have an impact, especially on the first-time home buyer. And those are actually millennials, Gen Xers. You know, they're getting up in their 40s, but they're ready to buy a home. They have good jobs. And, you know, the good news is these buyers are continuing to shop. It's not that they're giving up. They're just trying to find the right home at the right price. And some are kind of waiting. They're not necessarily committing to a one-year lease, but they're still looking for a home. And if they haven't found one, they're still looking. So that's really good news. The other good news is home ownership rates are actually at 2019 levels. Now, I don't think we'll ever see another boom like we saw in the past 18 to 24 months. That was pretty unusual. It's the first time I have ever seen it in my career. And it was really fun if you're a seller. It was really challenging if you're a buyer. So it has somewhat normalized things, but Colorado is still a beautiful place to live. There is a lot of demand for housing, and that will continue. But we have seen just a small correction in both the median price. Now, that median price has come down off its peak, which happened in the spring of last year. And that is a good thing, because that means that more buyers can afford homes now if the prices are coming down just a little bit. The other thing that's kind of surprising, that seems like that this fact doesn't really fit, is that the number of available homes on the market is actually kind of on the low side. So there's not as many homes to choose from, and there are fewer sales. So to me, it means that we're having a good market. It's not crashing like the press is saying. It's just that when you decide to sell your home, you want to make decisions about where you're going next, followed by you want to sit down with a really good real estate agent that understands the market, that knows how to help you do the main 3 Ps: preparation, pricing, and then the agent does promotion. And this market is not crashing like some other markets in this country. My website, barbhasthebuyers.com, has over 27,000 buyers looking for homes right now. We accumulate by hundreds of homes every single month. Typically, I can match at least 100 buyers to any home. And if you are thinking of making a move in the next 2 to 6 months, and you'd like to sit down with me or my team and find out what your home will sell for in this market. Also, our number one question is what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. That's absolutely critical. And we're going to go into some more detail on that topic here later on in the show. And you'd like a free in-home consultation, go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on that button right up top, find my buyer. Or if you're planning on moving later, we have some great reports that you can download all over the website. One of the reports that we just finished is the top 15 tips to sell your home fast and for top dollar. And you can download that report at barbhasthebuyers.com. You just click on seller guide in the upper left-hand corner, or go to the free report button, or if you didn't get it, that's fine. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 and we will send it right out to you. Richard?
We're talking with Barb Schlinker. We're discussing the Colorado housing market predictions for 2023. So Barb Schlinker, what is trending in the Front Range right now?
Well, it's really interesting to look at the stats, Richard, because of course they change daily. But the biggest surprise to me in this market is that the inventory is down. Now, some of that is seasonal, right? There are certain times of year when most people are putting their homes on the market. Like lately, the home sellers that I've been meeting with, their preference is to move a little bit later in the year, but they want to go ahead and get that free consult and get started and plan to make their move. So if you're selling right now, all the way through probably April, that's a great time to put your home on the market, because typically the inventory is lower during that time, but the demand tends to be higher. Every single year, year after year, we notice that homes tend to sell for top dollar that are actually promoted on the market in the springtime, not in the summer. However, most home sellers put their home on the market in the summer. So if you are in the market right now to go on the market, this is a great time to get started. Yes, the number of sales are down across the board, all up and down the Front Range, but that doesn't mean the market is crashing. It just means that we're not having bidding wars on every single home. It just means that you really need to carefully make a decision about pricing and not step on the gas and not speculate for really high prices and crazy bidding wars, because that's just not happening as much. The days on market, the average days on market, pretty much across the board has gone up. So during the boom, of course, the days on market dropped down into like 2 digits, like 12 or 15 when the market was on fire. But now in El Paso County, it's about 50 days. All up in the Denver metro area, the average days on market's about 33 days. And so that's not too bad. It's not, a seller's market is when you have less than 90 days average on market. Anything more than 90 days average on market before it gets a sale is more of an even or buyer's market. And we're not there right now. So don't despair. It's still a great time to buy and to sell a home. The good news for buyers is they have more homes to choose from, and the prices are a little bit more reasonable. So I think it's a great time right now. Housing prices are up since the boom. And what we're seeing, the big change that we're seeing that we had not seen for, probably 4 years, is that buyers are coming in and they're asking the sellers to make concessions. In other words, pay some of their loan closing costs. So when this first started happening last summer, there was a lot of shock going on. The sellers are like, wait, I have my own closing costs. Why am I having to pay the buyer's closing costs too? And it was because they didn't have a bidding war. They didn't have any other options. So then it becomes a function of actually negotiating. So it's really interesting. I was on a podcast of my coach this morning. We were talking about this very subject, that in the real estate industry, in this state anyway, it's only 1 month of school to get your license. And a majority of the brokers out there, they don't teach that skill of negotiating. Typically, they'll teach you how to fill out forms and how to stay out of legal trouble, but they won't teach you what the public demands and expects that you know. Things like marketing, negotiating, closing skills. Those things are absolutely critical. So when these things happen, when a buyer comes in and says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I would like you to pay $5,000 or $10,000 of my loan closing cost so I can get a lower interest rate. Okay, thank you for asking. I understand it's a matter of not having enough cash to make that happen, because what the lenders do is they actually buy down the interest rate. So it costs thousands of dollars probably for each little increment of an interest rate to buy it down. But there's no reason why the seller would have to pay it. We can negotiate a price where it gets funded into the loan and they don't have an out-of-pocket expense. So that's why if you're thinking of selling, you need to hire an agent that not only knows how to get you top dollar in a shifting market, that has those skills of marketing, negotiating, handling objections, closing. All those things are absolutely critical. And unfortunately, the industry doesn't teach it. Unfortunately, almost 80,000 people got their real estate license during COVID, and they're just kind of copying each other and kind of hoping it works out. But this is still a good market. You just want to make sure when you're handling or deciding to sell one of your largest assets that you hire somebody that has expertise. My name is Barb Schlinker. My website is barbhasthebuyers.com. My website has been up since 2014. I have over 27,000 buyers looking for homes right now. And typically I can match at least 100 buyers to any home. So if you are thinking of making a move, go to barbhasthebuyers.com and click on Find My Buyer or give us a call. Our number is 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. That is Barb, of course, with Barb Has the Buyers. It's your home sold guaranteed realty. Barb guarantees it. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. That's barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the top 15 tips to sell your home and to sell your home for top dollar. You don't want to miss that.